Well guys, welcome to another video. You join me down by the riverside on what is an absolutely stunning spring morning. Is it still morning? No, sorry, it's afternoon now. It's just after 12. A stunning early spring afternoon. Bloom now and looking lovely. I'm just hoping that the 4 or 5 days, goodness me, we've got to get through this quagmire here. Yeah, we just hope that the past 4 or 5 days of warm weather has maybe woken the fish up. So we'll get down to the water and see how it goes. So anyway, I've rigged up with a pair of nymphs under an indicator. I'll plug away with that for a while in the riffles and see if anything happens. If I notice any flies hatching and fish rising, I'll maybe switch to dries. But fish or no, I know it's an old cliche when they say fishing's a bit more than catching fish, but really, cliche or not, on a lovely day like this, you can believe it. It is absolutely stunning. I had a quick look at the weather forecast this morning and it's not going to last. It looks like it'll be fine up until the weekend. But next week it looks like winter may make an unwelcome return to these parts with low single digit temperatures and northerly winds, but they could be wrong. We'll just see how it goes. Yeah, right, we'll give it a go in here to start with. So I've got a 3mm tungsten bead pheasant tail type of thing on the tail and a lightly weighted silver ribbed black spider. So a soft hackle on the dropper. And that was my phone. I must have just received a text there, which I'll be totally ignoring. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. A few flies fluttering around, sort of small olive type patterns. Not patterns, flies. Yeah, there are quite a few flies fluttering around. Well, I got caught up in the bottom there, and unfortunately I had to wade out into the pool to unsnag it, so I could get a pull in the opposite direction. So in other words, pull it upstream. That often works to detach snags on the bottom. The river level has dropped a fair bit since the opening day, which was exactly 8 days ago. But I would say it's just about perfect now, beautifully clear and just ideal height. But still no sign of any fish moving. Into the bottom again. Right, now you have to wade out and get this untangled again. I'll cross here and have a stroll up the other bank. Keep an eye on this slack water to see if there are any fish moving. Right, I have a few casts up here. God, I'm almost expiring in the heat. All I've got on is a t-shirt and this light fleece. And of course the waders on top of all that. Oh my goodness, I'm hot. It's hot. Hard to believe it'll probably be snowing next week at this time. So I'll just sit here for 5 minutes and watch the water and see what's happening. Not much sign of a hatch at the moment, just the odd fly, the odd olive fluttering around, but nothing you would call a hatch. This is usually a good early season pool. As I've said previously, I've never had a huge amount of success nymphing in this river in the early days of the season, and I think that may be because the fish are, when the water's as cold as this, the fish are probably holed up in the deeper, slacker water, which is not good nymphing water. But I don't know. That's just another theory waiting to be shot down. I'll sit and watch it for a while anyway. It's absolutely delightful sitting here in the sun, and there's virtually no wind at all today. What wind there is so light it's barely noticeable. Right, I'll run the nymphs through this run here. No, I think the fish are all still asleep. It's really bizarre because I know this pool is absolutely stuffed with fish. So what are they doing? Well, I've moved back downstream. I'm fed up trolling the ball with nymphs, it's just not working. And this is the spot where I caught my first fish on film last year. It's a nice one, a couple of pounds. I think it was probably a sea trout kelt, but you might recognise the spot. So what I intend to do is just watch the water here for a wee while, checking for hatching flies and risers. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to rig up, I'm going to take these nymphs off and rig up with a single dry fly and just get ready to sit about for even longer and do even more watching. Anyway, we'll go do that and see how it goes. Well, what do you know? I just changed over a dry fly and I just flicked it on the water to see how well it would float, and this fish took it. Isn't that bizarre? Totally bizarre, absolutely nothing rising anywhere. As I say, I just rigged up with a dry fly with the intention of just watching the water for a while. So flicks it on the surface to see how well it was floating, and a fish took it. How weird is that? Of course, I don't have my landing net, it's up on the bank. This could be a bit of a pantomime. It's a good fish as well. Well, this is a comedy. Right, I've managed to get my landing net. A complete comedy. And now, a good chance I'm going to fall in here. What a fight! It's a sea trout by the look of things, another sea trout kelt just like last year. It's going to be a miracle if I get this in. Oh yeah, it's a lovely fish. Absolute stonker. That's a big brownie. A chance to check out my new weigh net. £2.25. So there you go, first fish of the season. How's that for a fish? Not bad for a wee stream, eh? It could actually be a sea trout kelt. I'm not sure. It's so difficult to tell, estimate. I don't think so. I think that's a brownie. That might have been the big one that I lost up there at the end of the season last year. Right. Back you go. That really was a complete pantomime. Just to recap how that happened. I was just sitting watching the water, decided, right, I'm going to rig up my dry fly in case a rise starts. Flicked the fly onto dead water to see how it was floating, and a fish took it. Oh, I didn't even have my rucksack on the back or my landing net for anything. I was just sort of relaxing. A fish was the last thing I was expecting there. So there you go. My first fish of the season, a 2¼ pound trout. Not bad. On my wee olive representation there, a yarn-winged olive. So there you go. That's what you call a pantomime. Well, we'll try downstream a bit. There's another big stretch of slack water down here. After that, heaven knows what could happen. It just goes to show it's better to be lucky than good. You can use all the stealth tactics you wish. Matching hatches and creeping along banks looking for risers. But at the end of the day, you just can't beat pure dumb luck. That was incredible. Astonishing I managed to land that, to be honest with you. Same, I had my bag off and everything because I'd just been rigging up with a dry fly. It was all up in the bank, and I thought I'll just flick this underwater, make sure it's floating okay. Fly hits the water, and a 2¼ pound fish takes it. Well, there you go. As I said, it's better to be lucky than good. Good start to the season though. It can only go downhill after that. You don't get a lot of fish that size here. Right, I'll just observe this stretch for a wee while. After that, I'm not sure what to do. Should I just fish the water blind with the dry and hope I get lucky again? Surely not. Right, I'll just try fishing this bit blind with the dry. I don't expect I'm going to get that lucky again, but you never know. You never know. That's my new landing net, christened as well. That was another thing I bought during the close season. I bought a new McLean way net. My other landing net that I normally use was getting a bit long in the tooth. And I have another McLean net, well, long handle, and that's the one I tend to use when I'm in New Zealand. That goes up to about 14, 15 pounds. You don't need that here. This one goes up to 6.5. So it's got a much better range. So that was a good way to christen it anyway. Can't really see the fly here. There's an awful lot of glare on the water. Well, that's kind of inspired me. I might, I can't fish tomorrow. I've got an appointment tomorrow. But Friday could be one of the last days of decent weather for at least a week. So I might come out again on Friday. I don't know. We shall see. But proves once again the old saying that you're not going to catch a fish unless your flies are in the water. You can sit on the bank observing, but if your fly isn't in the water, you're not going to catch anything. And if it is in the water, you've got a good chance of a real fluky catch like that one. Mind you, having said that, to be fair to myself, it was only partially fluky. I still had to make the cast, still had to land the fish. So it was only a partial fluke. A less seasoned angler for less seasoned angler may have lost it. Well, I think I'll have a few casts in here and then probably just call it a day. I'd only intended to come out for an hour or so anyway. I've got some other stuff I've got to do for tomorrow. But that was fine getting a fish, albeit under dubious circumstances. It's just an indication that things are starting to happen now. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day at that, guys. No point in pushing my luck too far. So if you managed to stay with me this long, thank you very much for watching. And we will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.